なかったな。
What's up guys, welcome to today's video of free-to-play Kinich showcase. But before going into more of that, I believe some of you are planning to talk up since the double bonus has just reset. That's why I'm gonna do you a favor telling you that LD Showdown GG is now offering out to 20% discount. It's an official platform developed by LD Player Emulator Group, one of the most popular Android emulator just like BlueStacks. Since it's a pretty well-known company, there's proofs to its safety and reliability. Besides, the transaction is fast and simple too. All you need to do is to input your UID and server, choose your method of payment, and you're good to go just like that. In my case, my working arrived just in 1 minute. Aside from the traditional crystal top-up, it also features lots of bundles for your needs. One of the best deals is the all-in-one bundle, which includes the entire round of double bonus for just $175 instead of over $200 normally. This will give you 26,000 Primogems if you haven't used the double bonus yet. But that's not all. If you're new to the platform, using my link here to register on the platform grants you another 5% discount once again, reaching up to 20% discount on your first purchase. That's $40 you save right there. So check out the platform if you're planning to top up the crystals. Links in the description. Alright, back to the showcase. Like usual, let's start with my build first. Level 90 Kinich with R5 Tidal Shadow. Now you must be wondering why I'm not using the Earthshaker on him. Well, aside from it actually being weaker than Tidal Shadow, especially in non-Bennett teams, it bounds him to Pyro reactions, which completely locks out of all other playstyles. That's also the reason I'm not really fond of his signature weapon. So that's why I choose Tidal Shadow instead, so I can show you all the playstyles for Kinich without any difference. Now as for the artifact, there's no way I could get his new set in time, so I have to use the 2+2 combination. But luckily my stats are pretty wild, so it shouldn't be too much difference compared to his best set. Talent wise, all the damage comes from the elemental skill, so please don't upgrade his normal attack. As for his burst, it's good to upgrade but not necessary. Alright, so first thing first, here's a friendly reminder telling you that you shouldn't trust any Kinich showcase that shows his damage in the current Spiral Abyss. All the damage you see are completely misleading because he gets 80% damage bonus for literally free. It's a very nasty trick of Hoyoverse to scam people, so please keep that in mind. Okay, finally here's his true solo performance without any buff. With enough practice, you are able to do 3 shots at maximum, dealing around 350,000 damage per rotation without any buff. Quite a decent damage in my opinion, even though it's only against single target. So now let's see the damage boost under different reactions, also known as Quicken vs Burning. Very surprisingly, they are actually pretty close to each other. I guess this proves that Pyro isn't really a must for Kinich to do well, unless you're using his signature weapon. By the way, there's a small chance for quarter area to spawn perfectly, which allows you to do 5 shots with burning. This almost doesn't happen at all, so I wouldn't rely on it if I were you. Now then, it's time to answer our biggest concern for Kinich. Is Emilie truly needed for him? Well, from my experience so far, no, not really. Hell, I will even go ahead telling you that she's actually hurting Kinich's strength and versatility. Unbelievable, right? Let's take the example of the best possible team for this Dendo duo. To be fair, in terms of dealing damage, this is definitely one of the strongest teams available for Kinich, if not actually the best. Not a surprise to see this coming, since Hoyoverse definitely designed them as a combo. Besides, Bennett's Xiangling combo is one of the strongest AoE style DPS in the game, especially when Kinich can spin counterclockwise to maximize her Pyronado damage. It's almost a perfect team composition if not for its restrictions. For one, there are quite a few of enemies that's immune to burning, which means this team is completely powerless against elemental enemies. That's entirely the fault of Emilie, because she's forcing her burning restriction onto the whole team, dragging everybody down, especially Kinich. Just for your information, Burgeon works against all kinds of elemental enemies, so nothing can stop Kinich whatsoever. But unfortunately, Emilie eliminates this option of his if you put her into the team. That's why you'll soon realize that it's actually better to replace her for someone else, especially when there are so many great Hydro supports eager to join as replacement. Just look at this, I dare say none of them are any weaker than Emilie. On top of that, with the addition of Hydro, this team becomes much better in dealing with shields. Remember the absolute nightmare of Abyss 3.7? The best team for it is the Burgeon team, and Kinich is definitely a stronger driver than all the existing Dendro units. Well, you might say Emilie can join Burgeon too, but I don't recommend it for a few reasons. For one, burning is very inconsistent in these teams, so Emilie is losing a big part of the damage from her passive talent. Secondly, there's not enough slot for Bennett, which is another huge loss to our Kinich damage. But most importantly, it still doesn't change the fact she's completely useless against elemental enemies. So that's why I think Emilie is not really a must. Although she's a strong sub-DPS, she creates a huge restriction with her burning, which outweighs her benefits to the team. Overall, it's just better to replace her for Hydro units, so no need to fret if you don't have her. Now that we have talked about Emilie and burning, it's time for some team showcase. There are so many variations to Burgeon, but despite who you go for, all of them are pretty similar in terms of damage. So here's the most budget version of it, which consists of Xingqiu, Bennett, and Thoma. It's one of the strongest free-to-play teams that's balanced between offense and defense, thanks to everyone contributing to both aspects at the same time. By the way, it's truly a surprise to see that Thoma is actually a very crucial part of the team where no one else can easily replace him. With Elemental Mastery build and Deep Root set, not only he's buffing our Dendro damage by straighting Dendro resistance, but also his Burgeon deals a very decent amount of AoE damage. Not to mention his shield helps in not getting interrupted by enemies. That's how much he contributes to the team. So honestly, if you want to pull Kinich, you should definitely build Thoma well, until the day where Pyro Archon comes out, probably. After showing you all these teams, you'll see that Bennett is really killing our fun with his Circle Impact, so it's time to get rid of him once and for all, even though the price is a little bit heavy. Since he's a healer, one of the best alternatives for him is the Baiju, which naturally pairs well with Fulina. Usually Baiju uses the Deep Root memories, so it allows Thoma to use Gilded Drains to improve his Burgeon damage. Overall, it's weaker than bringing Bennett in terms of damage, but finally there's no restriction to Kinich. For me, I will happily accept this trade. Now I believe you're getting tired of Pyro, so time for some other reactions. The first one is definitely our most infamous Quickbloom team, which consists of Xingqiu, Cookie, and Fishu. Before you ask, there are reasons why I didn't bring Nahida. For one, Kinich is already a strong Dendro applicator who is able to support the reactions. Secondly, he doesn't really benefit from Nahida's buff, so that's why I chose Fishu for more damage. Damage wise, this team is pretty acceptable, but just to remind you that it doesn't work well against Clouds, since Kinich is almost purely for single target, but nevertheless it's a good team choice for our Kinich. Another common team you can try is Quicken team, which is also quite strong. A properly built Nahida is actually a strong AoE sub-DPS, covering one of the biggest weaknesses for Kinich. At the same time, she also provides Elemental Mastery buff for him, improving his Quicken damage. By the way, if you choose to use Tidal Shadow like me, remember to use Prototype on Nahida, so her healing can trigger his weapon passive for attack buff. That's basically everything about this team, very simple while being decent. Finally, it's time to join everything together, the Rainbow team. You know, I've always been a fan of Chaos, so I've tried all sorts of Rainbow teams before. But honestly, from my experience, it really feels like this is the best version of it. he has enough application to support all the relations while at the same time dealing a very good amount of damage on field. Honestly, no one fits better than him in this team, so if you're always eager to try Rainbow team, this is the best chance for you to do so. Alright, so that's basically everything about this video. Now as conclusion, Kinich is a pretty powerful DPS in the game, and you can immediately feel his power once you get your hands on him. However, due to his lack of LE, he can't really make it into the top meta, so no need to pull him if you're looking for the absolute strongest DPS. But aside from his strength, he's definitely quite fun and unique to play, especially with the Rainbow team, so I guess it's at least worth a soft pity. But before you decide to pull him, you have to prepare yourself to accept that this is the best as it could be. Why? Just take a look at the future characters. The only candidate who can potentially be his best teammate is the Pyro Archon, and there are chances that she might not be a support. So if that happens, you'll have to stick with the current teams for a very long time. High chance that he won't get any buff in the future. So please do the mental preparation. Alright, that's about everything in this video. Thanks for watching and I'll be seeing you in the next one.